Well, this morning, the Ohio Supreme Court is hearing arguments in the case of Sydney Powell. She's accused of murdering her mother in Akron back in 2020. Candace Hare joins us now in the studio to explain how this case reached the state's highest court. Candace?
Good morning, Danita. So Sydney Powell was charged after her mother died at their Akron home in March of 2020, and she pled not guilty by reason of insanity. And that plea is key in this case because it put the burden on Powell's defense to show that she had a mental illness, and then it kept her from understanding her actions at the time of the crime. And during the trial, the state brought in an expert to challenge her defense. Powell's team wanted to have one of their experts respond, but the judge said no. The jury ultimately rejected her insanity defense and convicted her on all counts, sentencing her to life in prison with parole eligibility after 15 years. And an appeals court later overturned her convictions, saying she should have been allowed to respond to the state's expert.
Since it's the government's appeal, the government will argue first at the Ohio Supreme Court. Then Ms. Powell's lawyers will have the right to respond. And then sort of ironically, the prosecutor gets the opportunity to respond to what Ms. Powell's lawyers argue. And then the case would be submitted to the Ohio Supreme Court, which will issue its opinion in due course.
Now, those oral arguments are scheduled for 9 a.m. this morning, and coming up in 30 minutes, we'll take a closer look at what happens next in this case and how long that process may take.
All right, Candace Hare reporting for us from the studio today. Thank you so much.